star. It's not like a planet. I can't say it's a planet. The star, I don't know what it is. But it's in the distance, and it's always there. And then another one is a white one. I'll see a white one. And the interesting thing about last night was this white star, which resembles one of the twinklers that we see above the horizon every single night. And I'm going to talk about those in a second here, too. It started moving towards me. It was like way out in the distance, and started moving in towards me, closer and closer and closer. And then all of a sudden, instead of being one, there were like thousands of them. I mean, just covering the sky. And I'm thinking, is this, this UFO invasion that's coming? Is this, the UFO invasion? I'm looking up, and there's just thousands of these white aircraft hovering over the skies. And it was my impression at the time that while these ships, whatever they were hovering in the sky, the real action was on the ground. That's when the invasion, when all these black, ugly, demonic being things were invading people's homes and stuff. While everybody's so busy looking up at the sky at this UFO invasion, is when they're attacking on the ground. That was my just a distinct impression that, everyone's going to be awed by the sight with all these thousands and thousands of UFOs when the invasion's going to begin on the ground. And another thing that I thought that came to mind was that how much of it's going to be an illusion that we're looking at in the skies, because when I saw the one and then I saw 1,000, and what came to mind was all of these sightings over the past 20, 30 years, where people say they see one UFO and then they see 3 lights and then the 3 lights merge into one. I think all that's been practice. I think that's been some conditioning and experimentation, because I don't think that the Satan's forces have that many. But I think they want us to think that they do. And so they've been practicing this holographic trick with the lights thing, so that maybe there's only a few UFOs actually in the sky, because they do have ships, folks, but I don't think they have the thousands that we're going to see. Because I think the thousands that we're going to see are just illusions. I think they're hieroglyphics. I think that they're fake. They're just lights. They're just lights. And we're going to be thinking, wow, that's a real ship. It's not. It's just a light. So I think a big part of this UFO invasion that's coming, a big part of it is just illusion. It's just lights. It's tricks. And when that's going on, we'll see a lot of these, the real invasion will begin on the ground, with these demonic beings just attacking people's homes, and scavenging and ravaging everything they can. Now this brings us back to God's believers. Aren't we protected by the Most High? And, that's something my husband was asking me about, and we were talking, and I said, well, you know what? So many think that they're the Lord's, and they're living in sin. He's going to protect who He wants. And the ones who are living in sin and not walking in Him, He may give them access to these beings. He may just step back and say, hey, go ahead, They may become victim of these beings. I felt no fear as I was sitting on the porch, but I sure wished I had a gun in my hand to give me some peace. They didn't come in my house. They weren't attacking my home. But they were all the ones around me, except for the 2 on either side of me. Probably because if they got that close, I'd still shoot at them. I don't want them that close to me. But that's, we never know what the Lord is going to do and what He will allow. And that's what I get so sick of hearing about. Just all these more religious than thou people online, these Christians that are just going to storm the gates of heaven and tell God how good they are and how great they are. And it drives me nuts. But you don't take it for granted. The Lord says to use wisdom in all things. Don't tempt Him. If He's telling you to stock up on ammo and get some guns, then do it. Don't sit there and say, well, God said He's going to protect us, and sit on your couch with your head in your lap. You're the very person He's going to allow these things to overcome you because you're not listening to Him. You never want to be at fault at not listening to the Lord or not doing as He says, even though it doesn't make sense, even though it goes against everything that you believe. If He's telling you to do something, do it. That's the bottom line. Nothing else matters. And so, that's, I just wanted to bring that up, because, I've had, these things before where I have seen, annex on the ground, eating people, tearing them apart limb by limb, and sometimes the Lord will give me spiritual visions as I'm writing articles, as He wants me to write something, so that I just have a better idea of what it is I'm writing about. But as far as this UFO and invasion thing coming, I don't know if it was from the Lord, I don't know if it's blue beam, I don't know what it is, but it doesn't surprise me in the least that most of it is just a holographic illusion, that all of the UFOs they're going to be displayed in our sky, most of them are just fake lights. They're not even real ships. But don't discount the ones that are real ships. If I've been sitting outside the last 2 weeks, one of the things that strikes me the most is just how many more are crowding our skies right now. And the Lord brought to my mind today, one of His admonishments for knowing when the end of the days were, was the signs in the skies, to watch for the signs in the skies. And as I sit outside and I keep seeing more and more of these twinklers, these huge mother UFO ships permanently stationed in our atmosphere now, it was one of the things that just struck me, that this is part of the signs of the skies at the end of the age. Because we used to always have at least 3 or 4. And I know some people think, well, I'm only seeing this in my area. Well, no, you could drive all the way across west, or all the way across east, all the way across this country, even the northern hemisphere, and see these twinklers. They're not specific just for your area. If you can see the moon, then, you're not the only person in the world that sees the moon. Everybody else sees it too. And these twinklers are just high enough in our horizon. They're 33 degrees above our horizon, to where the entire northern hemisphere can see these things. And, it's like my husband said, he's like, he can't believe people aren't seeing this stuff. How can everyday people just not look up on the skies and see these UFO ships in our horizon? Because they look like stars, and I was reading online where someone had given them the name twinklers. So I started calling them twinklers. It's because you don't know what they're not. They look like stars, but they're too low. And if you read the New Age material, they even tell you these are our light ships, these are our light beam ships, and they claim them as their own, these UFOs, these ascended masters. They claim these stars, these twinklers, as being UFO motherships. And so not only do we know what they are, they're admitting what they are. And then 95% of, also the majority of the world, just goes to sleep and doesn't even notice. One thing you'll see associated a lot with these stars is that they look like they're white stars, but you'll see red circles underneath them. And often they will pulsate a different color light. And they're huge. They're just huge. And most of the time, even on a starry night when there's no stars in the sky, you'll still see these UFO ships. If you look outside, just look up and you'll see them. They're so close to Earth. You'll see no other star in the sky that night, but you'll see that UFO ship. These twinklers, they look like stars, but they're UFO ships. Some of them are white, some of them